Good day, everyone. My name is Nikki Clarke, and I am the host of the Nikki Clarke Show. You are so welcome to be here in this spot of inspiration and empowerment and upliftment. And I am so excited because, this week has been a very special week for me. It's my Sweet 16. I am so grateful and honored to have been able to meet people, hear their incredible stories, and to be able to transform lives one story at a time. 16 years on the air. So I just want to thank you for being a part of that journey. Today, we have an incredible woman who is making a fantastic impact in the world. I want you to please welcome the amazing Zeï Khauli, Mrs. Earth Canada. Zeï, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. Oh my God, Nikki, I am so excited to be here. I can barely contain my excitement. First of all, happy 16th birthday to you and
Thank you.
congratulations. You are
Thank you so
such
much.
an inspiration to especially us women. You are such an inspiration. I just want to say I'm such a big fan and I'm so happy and honored and grateful to be here today.
And the honor is mine. We met, I think over a year ago, and I was absolutely blown away by, your charisma, your beauty and intelligence. So it only makes sense for you to have been crowned Mrs. Earth Canada.
Thank
So
you.
with that said, I just want to know more about Zeï and if you could share your incredible message of inspiration. So first question I want to ask you is what inspired you to participate in the Mrs. Earth Canada pageant? And how did
Okay.
this competition align with your personal values or mission?
Mhm.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's really actually it's a very funny story because I've been wanting to be in a pageant like many girls, like most girls probably, ever since I was very little. It was my dream to be. I remember like watching pageants on TV with like my mom and my aunt and all of us going, "Oh, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. Oh, I like her answer." And then me thinking like if it had been me, I would have answered that way or I would have answered this way. And there's me like really little. And I always wanted to be in a pageant, but I was always discouraged from doing so. Back when I was 15 years old, we're not going to say what year it was, but that was quite a few years ago. I remember seeing, because back then, obviously, there wasn't like phones and like internet and social media, anything like that. It was just on TV. So we were watching TV, and this thing comes on where they're like, we're looking for the next Miss Teen Canada. Are you the next Miss Teen Canada? And I think I was like 15 years old or something. And of course, back then you just had to like write a letter, send them a letter, and like print out a picture of yourself or something like that. And I said, oh my God, I want to do this. Like, I really wanted to do this. It's a dream of mine. And I was told no. Like, my family, my parents, especially my mama, she was like, no, you can't do that, because what if you don't get selected? You're going to be so upset. You're going to be heartbroken. It's going to be sad for you. I think she thought I was going to be heartbroken and she was trying to like protect me from that. So I wasn't allowed to do it. And then a few years after that, I think again, I was like 20 or 21. Again, I wanted to be in like this pageant. And I was like, oh, I want to be in a pageant. And my mama was like, no, Jose, you can't do that, because girls like you don't win. And I remember hearing that and it stuck in my brain that like girls like me don't win. And I thought, okay, well, of course, back then she was trying to protect me. She thought she
Yes,
was like the right thing, so that I
yes.
wouldn't be upset and hurt. But I thought, okay, so a girl like me is not going to win. So I put that in my mind and I put pageantry like kind of in the back of my mind, the back of the closet, and I thought
Hmm.
I'll do it. I thought maybe because I'm not like, typical beauty, 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, skinny. All the models and like the pageant queens were super skinny. Here's little old me, super curvy.
Yeah.
And then when I saw this Mrs. Canada last year, I was like, oh my goodness, I just saw it like that by fluke on Instagram. And I was like, oh my God, should I enter this? So my spouse, they were like, they've been so supportive of me from the beginning. They were like, Zay, you should do this. And I was like, well, I'm probably not even gonna get selected, but why not? Let's just try, it's gonna be fun. I'll try. And then I got selected, and then we had the interview, and I became a finalist. I couldn't believe it, Nikki. I literally couldn't believe it because I'd been told that like somebody like me would never win a pageant. So here I am as a finalist in the Mrs. Canada pageant. And of course, I knew that there were these different titles like Mrs. Canada Universe, Miss Canada World. And when I knew there was a Mrs. Canada Earth, I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing if that was me. Like if I could choose one, I would choose that because I'm so concerned about like the environment and protecting the environment, the
Mm,
animals especially. That's like my biggest advocacy is protecting
yes.
the animals. And I've been advocating for like using cruelty-free products and stuff like that way
Mm,
before
way
I even
before.
got my title or my crown. So when I won Mrs. Canada Earth, Nikki, I was floored. I literally couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Like a girl like me finally did win.
Yes.
And I was just, it was a dream. It was literally a dream come true. And here I have to say thank you to Annie. She was such an amazing guide, my national director. I call her my fairy godmother because she was just
Mm,
an amazing mentor and guide throughout this whole thing. And she still is up to today. And she just really pushes you, to like go for it, believe in your dreams, believe in yourself, make your dreams come true. And it's been an incredible journey, incredible. Like I can't find the words to describe sometimes how this just feels like a dream.
I think that's incredible. And yes, big shout out to Annie Manjuran.
Yeah.
She's a fairy godmother to many, and she
Yes,
helps
love
many dreams come
you.
true. So the question I have to ask you right now is, how does your mom feel?
My mom couldn't believe it, could not believe it. Because when I told her, she's still with us, she's still around. Of course, so I was like, last year, Mom, I'm going to enter Mrs. Canada, and you can't say no. Now I'm like, I'm going to decide. So she was like, oh, okay. Well, and I told her, listen, I don't have to win. I am most probably not going to win because I didn't expect to win anything. I thought it's going to be a fun experience. It's going to be a journey. You're going to meet other ladies, create sisterhoods, which actually everything has happened. Like you create relationships with other women that are going to last forever. You have close friends, you get different opportunities. So I was thinking, why not just do it for the experience? And then when I came home, I actually won two crowns that night. I won Mrs. Quebec because I'm from Montreal, and I won Mrs. Canada Earth. And my mom was like, oh my God. And now, of course, she's like telling the whole world, my daughter is Mrs. Canada Earth, my daughter this, my daughter that. So it's an
That
amazing,
is
crazy experience.
that is huge, and I think I've come to learn that this is the first time for Canada to enter into the Mrs. Earth International. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's been a long, long time, many, many years that Canada hasn't been a part of this. And now we are there. And of course,
Yeah.
I'm going with the DJ, Dejana, my partner, Earth Queen, Ms. Earth. She's the MS Earth, and I'm the Mrs. So we're going together, and it's going to be so much fun. Like, I love DJ. I really love her. And we have a very, very strong bond. We're very close. So we're just so excited to go together, to have this opportunity to represent our beautiful country. It's a fairy tale, Nikki. It's a fairy tale. Like that's the only thing, that's the only word I have for it.
I love that. And what would you say to those who maybe are critical of pageants? Some people may look at it as kind of, the stereotypes that you hear
Yeah.
about pageants. How would you address that?
Well, I would tell them that I'm living proof that these stereotypes are starting to slowly break away. Like
Hmm.
now, a pageant, especially the Mrs. Canada Earth, it's not only about outside beauty. Of
Mm,
course, you have to be eloquent, you have to know how to speak, you have to have a cause that you're working for and fighting for. You have to have empathy and compassion towards other people. You need to be involved in your community and be excited about doing community work. And like for me, as I told you before, I was the most non-typical person to ever win. I was probably the oldest one there. I might have been the oldest one there. I was definitely the curviest one there. There's, everybody's super skinny, beautiful. Then there's me, So, yeah, I think we're breaking away from stereotypes about beauty pageants, and as we should. I mean, it's time. It's time.
mm,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So, how would you use your platform as Mrs. Earth Canada to raise awareness and drive positive change for sustainability and environmental
Yeah,
protection?
yeah. I love that question. See, I think the only way we can actually do that is by setting an example. I mean,
Mm,
I think to go out there and just tell people, you should try to do this, try to do that, let's try and recycle. Sure. But when you do it, and then you can use like I try to use my social media platform as much as I can, like my
yeah.
Instagram, to
Hmm.
promote the things that I stand for and I work for. So you can do a little like picture, a video of yourself actually doing it and then encouraging others to do it. Like the example what I told you about cruelty-free products. I've been using only cruelty-free products that are not tested on animals for the past maybe 7, 8 years now, way before my title. So I'm always showing like the brands that I use. I'm always promoting them, encouraging other women to use those. I would do something like recycling the bottle, something as simple as recycling, and then
Mhm.
take a video saying, "Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Canada Earth. Don't forget to recycle your bottles," so that maybe other people, maybe other younger women, younger girls would say, "Oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. I need to remember to do that." So it's important
Mm.
to show yourself. Like another example, me, I always take public transportation. I don't drive a car because that's not good for the environment. So I always make sure I have videos of me, even when I'm going to like a fancy event and a gown, my sash and crown. I'm on the bus. I'm on the Montreal Metro. So I'm always like, "Hi
Mm.
everyone, I'm on the Metro, take public transportation," hopefully encouraging others to do the same. So I think you really have to be the example. You got to
Excellent.
walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
And I love the Montreal Metro. There's
Yeah, I know. Well,
amazing
me too.
to
So
see lots of art and musicians, and
yes, yes.
it's
And it's
amazing.
beautiful, easy to take. It's clean. I mean, why not? Let's just everyone do it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
So I have another question for you. So
Mhm.
how do you like balance the demands of, pageant life with your personal life, professional life? What advice would you give women?
See, that's something very tricky. You have to really be aware and be mindful that there is a time for everything. Like now, it's time for me when I'm at work, I'm in full work mode, I'm in my job, I'm doing
Hmm.
my thing. When I'm at home with my family, I'm completely focused on my family. I'm doing
Hmm.
my thing with them. We spend holidays together, Thanksgiving, Christmases, Easter, everything like that, summer, Halloween, even. We try to do everything
Hmm.
together as a family. Pageant stuff, pageant work is really, that's the time when I'm focused on doing everything for the pageant. I'm very lucky, extremely lucky now to have a very supportive family, especially my spouse. They're the
Yes.
most support. They're like my biggest cheerleader. Even like financially, they're my sponsors for almost everything. When I need something, hair, gowns, whatever, they're behind me, they back me up, they're completely encouraging me to do it, pushing me, cheering me on. So I'm very lucky in that sense, and I really appreciate that. So
That's amazing. You are truly
yeah,
blessed, to
yeah,
have
thank you. I
support.
am.
So the final question, Zay, and I'm
Mm,
going to ask if you're comfortable in answering this in French. But someone is watching you right now,
yeah.
and she's inspired by your story, and she's thinking about entering into the beauty pageant space. What would you say to encourage her in French, en
Oh,
français?
wow. En français, bon, je vais essayer. I would just say, bon, ça c'est en anglais, go for it. Go for it. Tu peux le faire. Tu peux le faire. Tu vas arriver. Ça va peut-être être difficile des fois. Il y a des personnes qui vont te dire non. En fait, il y a
Mm.
beaucoup des personnes qui vont te dire non. Mais il faut toujours juste être. Mets ça comme ton goal, your main goal. And just go for it. Juste,
Go
tu peux
for
pas
it.
dire, oh non, ça va jamais être moi. Mais regarde-moi. Moi, c'est
Mm.
l'exemple. Si tu vas
Mm.
penser comme ça, tu vas jamais arriver. Mais just go for it.
Just go for it. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Pearls
Yeah,
of wisdom.
thank you, Nikki.
And Zay, tell us how we can support you. Where can we find you on social media?
Oh yeah, I'm only on Instagram right now. I used to have a Facebook account many, many years ago, and people still think it's me, but I lost the password somehow along the years, so it's not me. I just have an Instagram account, which is Priya and Pink.
I love
So,
that.
and yeah, it's Zeï Khauli, Mrs. Canada Earth, 2023, 2024. So if you want to follow me there, I post tons of stories, like my daily stuff, where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm buying, what I'm eating, everything like that. Sometimes family events, sometimes like fancy events. So if you want to follow me on that. And of course, we talk a lot about environmental issues, especially animals, animal rights, protection, all of those things. I'm very, very big on that. This is my main advocacy. So you'll be hearing a lot about that as well from me, always.
I love it. Thank you so much, Zeï Khauli. You are an inspiration,
Oh, you
Miss
pronounced
Miss Canada.
my last name amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
And thank you for
acknowledging that.
having me. It's been so much fun. I mean, I love you. I love your energy. I love everything about you. You're such an example of like women empowerment for me. So thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for having me. I'm really, really honored to be here today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure having you, and I can't wait for you to come back on the show to talk about your adventures in Trinidad
Yeah.
with
Oh, I
the
would love
international
that.
pageant,
I
and
would
we're
love
rooting
that.
for you. We're rooting for you
Okay,
and
thank you.
DeJay.
Thank
Come back
you.
with the gold. You know,
Yes, we're gonna
so
bring that crown home, DJ and I. We're gonna go for it.
absolutely, whatever happens, you are a queen.
Oh,
So
thank you, Nikki.
wonderful
Thank you
day, and
so
thank you so
much.
much.
Have an
You're
amazing day.
too.
Bye-bye.
Zeï Khauli, everyone. All the best to you.
Thank you.